Well, welcome to A Course in Miracles. Welcome to A Course in Miracles. Welcome to A Course in Miracles. It's so good to see my mighty companions this morning. I'm glad I have developed the power of control over weather. It took me many years to master that. So I just thought I'd blast every excuse. So let's start out by recognizing this is A Course in Miracles. I'm Earl Purdy. I want to thank those of you who are watching from around the globe, my mighty companions. We're going to talk about the judgment of the Holy Spirit, the judgment of a right mind. We're going to talk about what kind of way you can judge that doesn't jam you up.
Amen.
Because you're going to judge. So I just want to ask you to give up judgment. Give up trying to get rid of judging. You ain't going to do it. You're going to have, as a matter of fact, it's impossible to not judge. If you see something, you're judging it. You don't have a choice. What do I mean by that? Right now, when you look around this room, you're judging everything you see. You're judging it. You're judging who you think I am, what you think the floor is, what you think the wall is, what you think the mic is. All of those are judgments. And the Course in Miracles says that our mind is judging all the time. So then it becomes a matter of whether I'm going to use a judgment that delays me or I'm going to use a judgment that obeys me and helps me. So we're going to talk about the judgment of the Holy Spirit. We started last weekend, and the Course in Miracles says the Holy Spirit is your right mind, your right-mindedness, your loving right mind, and that the ego is wrong-mindedness. It is your fearful wrong-mindedness. And so it's telling us that you don't, it's on page 215, those of you who are watching online and are following along in the book, in the Foundation for Inner Peace version, is on page 215. I'm going to start with paragraph 4, which is where we left off at last week. And I'm going to give the guidelines for the Course in Miracles right quick. Oh, yeah. You need not believe the ideas. 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 You need not accept the ideas. You need not accept the ideas. You need not even welcome the ideas. You need not even welcome the ideas. You need not even accept the ideas. You need not accept the ideas. You need not welcome the ideas. Some of the ideas you may actively resist. I say some of the ideas you may actively resist. 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 You may actively resist some of the, you may actively resist some of the ideas. You may actively resist some of the ideas. Did I say you may actively resist some of the ideas? You are not being asked to judge the ideas at all because some of the ideas may seem to be quite startling. Some of the ideas may startle you. Some of the ideas in the Course in Miracles may startle you. Some of the ideas in the Course in Miracles may startle you. You are not asked to judge the ideas at all. You're not asked to analyze the ideas at all. I do not analyze the ideas in the Course in Miracles. I do not analyze the ideas in the Course in Miracles. This is not going to be a class where we sit around analyzing the Course. That's not what I do. I'm the divine repetition teacher. I'm the divine remembering teacher. I just got one goal when I sit down. It's like, how can I say this in such a way that you might hear what it's saying? Because I find after 40 years of working with the Course that people are so busy analyzing it, they never allow themselves to actually hear it. And it's really quite simple. It's not hard, it's just different. And it says itself, this is coming straight out the book. You don't have to believe it, accept it, welcome it. Some of it you're going to resist. Some of it's going to be hard to believe and quite startling. You're not asked to judge the ideas at all. Their use will give the ideas meaning to you and will show you that the ideas are true. Did I say the use of the ideas will give the ideas meaning to you and show you that they're true? Now, sometimes people think the Course in Miracles is difficult to do. But the truth is, I want you to listen to this. The truth is, it says that regardless of your reaction to the ideas, just use them. Didn't say you had to like it, didn't say you had to understand it, didn't say that we had to feel thrilled about it. It says regardless of your reaction to the ideas, use them. So, paragraph 4. The Course in Miracles said last week that love only has one judgment about anything that's going on. You and your loving mind, it only has one judgment about what's going on, and that judgment is that it's love or it's a call for love. It's a call for help or it's a call for healing. That's the only thing that's happening in anything you see, anywhere. Either seeing love or you're seeing a call for love, an appeal for healing, and an appeal for help. That's all you're seeing. And if you offer that person anything else, the Course says you're attacking the reality of the situation, and the truth of the situation is it's a call for love, it's a call for help, it's a call for healing. Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be the one that answers it. How can you tell? You don't want to. God isn't so dumb that God would send the person to help me that didn't want to. If Spirit sending me a relationship, it probably would be someone who wanted to be in one with me. It would kind of pretty much assure I might have the relationship. So the Course is telling, and also I want to say this too. There's many different perspectives and interpretations of the Course as there are people reading it. So I'm not saying that what's coming through me and the way it's coming through me is the only way to see it. Everybody clear about that? That's right. Yeah. I'm not saying you can't have another way of looking at it other than the way I'm sharing. All right? Is that cool? Yeah. All right. Let's just get that straight. This is just the way it's coming through me. That's it. It's the way it's coming through me. And if it came through you, you'd probably see it slightly different. All right? So I know that the simplicity of it can be very difficult for twisted minds. Okay? The Course in Miracles says simplicity is very difficult for twisted minds. So the more twisted my mind is, the simplicity of the Course will be hard to grasp. So it's telling us that if I respond or if I see anything that anybody is doing as anything other than a loving thought or a call for help, then the Course says my response is not appropriate in terms of the truth of what's going on, but my response will be totally appropriate in terms of how I'm interpreting it. So you're going to respond according to your perception of it. And so the Course says there's nothing to prevent you from recognizing all calls for help as exactly what they are, calls for help, except one thing, your own imagined need to attack. You know, if I need to attack you, if I need to be upset with you, if I don't want to see that call for love, if I don't want to answer that call for love, then I'm not going to want to see it as a call for help. If I don't want to answer it, if I want to be mad at you, if I want to be upset with you, if I want to attack, then I'm not going to want to see it as a call for help. Okay? Just like somebody have a broke leg laying on the floor begging for your help and you walk up and smack them in the face. You know what I'm saying? You know, somebody got a call for help that they're not looking for attack. You know. Now, if I curse you out and I call you everything but a child of God, then that's still me calling for help and calling for love. But you could see it as he just attacked me. That's you not wanting to recognize what it really is, but you would be responding to your perception of what you think it is. That's what he says, that if you have an imagined need to attack, then you're not going to see it as a call for love. You're not going to see it as a call for help. He says your own imagined need to attack. I think it's really interesting. Your own imagined need to attack. Then it says it is only this that makes you unwilling to engage. It's only this that makes you willing to engage in endless battles with reality. So what is an endless battle with reality? You deny the reality of the need for healing by making the need for healing unreal. So I'm battling with the truth whenever I deny that it's a call for love, and I'm making that call for love unreal. That's me fighting the truth. The truth is it's a call for help. I have an imagined need to attack, so I'm not going to see it that way. Everybody familiar with that? Right? That's why this isn't the most pleasant thing for people to hear when they think someone's trying to hurt them. They want to see it as an attack, not that you're calling for help, because they have an imagined need to attack your butt back. Anybody ever been there? I know y'all holy and everything, but have any of y'all ever been there?
Yes.
This morning. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You're really bragging if you say it this morning. You kind of bragging. I just want to let you know from way back to this morning. Oh, wow, you bad.
Really, it's been half an hour.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank God you're around such perfect holy people.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
You'll rub off on your
Yeah, I know. So the Course says, well, why don't you want to see it as a call for help? He says, well, you wouldn't do this, make the call for help unreal, except for what? Your unwillingness to accept reality as it is. I'm unwilling to accept the truth as it is, which is that what? It is a call for help, a call for healing, a call for love. That's what I'm unwilling to recognize. If you notice, if you look down at the page, all I'm doing is saying what the Course is saying, but saying it in a way that hopefully we'll be able to hear it. Right? I don't defend the Course because I didn't write it. So I don't feel like my job is to defend. Sometimes people write me like I'm supposed to defend the Course. It's like, the Course has never defended itself when I was reading it. The book never said, hell no. So I don't defend it because that's not my job. In 40 years of working with this, I find that either you're ready for it or you're not. You're either ready for the Course or you're not. And if you're ready for it, no matter what your resistance is to it, you'll keep on reading it. If you're not ready for it, the first thing will stop you. That's it. There's no, in my years of teaching it, I either see people that are into it or people who are not. Fortunately, the truth will come to you in the form you need it in, the form that's best for you, and it might not be this.
That's right.
It might not be this. How do you know? I hate it. I never read it. I never focus in on it. So what did this paragraph just say? That, well, if I have a need to attack, I'm not going to see what you do as love or a call for love. So I have an imagined need to see it as something other than that, so I'm going to react to what you do, different from seeing it as a call for love. If I need to attack you, I'm going to see it as some form of attack, something for me to get upset about. And then I make the reality of the need that you have for help unreal. And that's because, he says, because you're unwilling to accept reality as it is. In reality, the reality is everybody's calling for love or expressing love. And then it ends up by saying, I love this, your unwillingness to accept reality as it is, and which you therefore withhold from yourself. Okay? So I'm withholding help from myself. I'm withholding the answer for my call for love for myself. I don't want to see it that way. I'm the one that's withholding it from myself. And there's a lot of ways to look at that statement. You are myself. Right. So when I withhold it from you, I am withholding it from yourself. If you think you are only what you think you are making a mistake in who you are. If you think you're just that single identity sitting on the chair separate from everybody in you, then the course would say you don't know who you are. Right. That you're making a mistake towards what your identity is. There's just one self. That's it. We're playing like it's a lot of us. You know, we are God playing with itself.
God has a lot of fun with God.
Showing God.
It's always God with God. Okay. So it's a good advice, he says, and I'm going to throw it open in a minute. There's one more paragraph I want to cover. It's surely good advice to do what? To tell you not to judge what you don't understand. So how do I keep from judging people? I tell myself I don't understand you, then I won't judge you. If I say you have Saturn square Uranus in the 8th house, and you know nothing about astrology, you can't judge whether that's good or bad. Why? Because you don't understand it. So you can't judge what you don't understand. So when you tell people I don't understand you, that's a very high statement. Telling somebody because when you think you understand somebody, then that means you think you categorize them, figured them out, and you know who and what they are. And then we lock them in this little box of our categories. And then we don't get a chance to see who they really are. So I don't understand you opens up a lot of possibilities for us. I don't ever want to understand you. And I'm good at that. Right? Yeah. So the Course in Miracles says it's surely good advice to tell you what? Not to judge what you don't understand. Why? Hear this. No one with a personal investment is a reliable witness. You don't ask your girlfriend, is it cool to go out with another woman next week? Usually she has a personal investment. She's not going to be a reliable witness. I'm just using these kind of examples. Let me get this straight. The Course in Miracles is only talking about perception, really. It's only talking about perception, perception, perception. Everything it's talking about is perception, perception, perception. But I like to use examples that we can relate to every day from our experience. And that's why I said that. No one, that's why you get some of the best advice you'll ever get on the airplane next to the person sitting next to you on the airplane on the way to where you're going. Because they have no personal investment at all in anything you're talking about. So I'll say it again. No one with a personal investment is a reliable witness. And the Course says why? Because the truth to that person has become what they want it to be. You know, the truth is going to be what I want it to be. Because I'm gonna slant things in my favor. Because I have a personal investment. So I'm not going to give you a truly objective perspective of nothing I'm talking about if it's going to affect me personally. Next sentence. If you are unwilling to perceive an appeal for help as an appeal for help, if you're unwilling to see a call for help as a call for help, it's because you are unwilling to give help. If I see it as a call for help, it means I might have to give some help. Yeah. If I don't see it as a call for help, then I'm not called on to help. And so the Course in Miracles says, now don't forget the second half of that though. You are unwilling to give help if you don't want to see it as a call for help, but you're also unwilling to receive help if you're not seeing it as a call for help. I want you to hear that again. My not willing to see what you do as a call for help is me being unwilling to receive help. I'll say that again.
That's me.
If you don't want to see someone else's call for help as a call for help, you're a person who really doesn't want to receive love and help. So the person that doesn't want to receive love is not going to do the thing that would allow them to receive love. And what would allow me to receive love is to see everybody else's call for love. So if I hate myself, I'm not going to see what other people do as a call for love. Because I don't believe I deserve to have my call for help answered. Take a breath. We going into Course comatose.
I'm checking out.
Yeah, it's like cricket, 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 cricket. You can hear the crickets in the room. You know, it's like you can hear the crickets, right? I'll say it again. I don't want to see what you do as a call for help because I don't think I deserve help. I have a need to attack you, so I'm not going to see it as a call for love. I have a personal investment. I don't think I need to receive help. So I'm not going to be a reliable witness to the fact that you're calling for help. Why? Because I hate Earl. And I don't want Earl to receive any help, that bastard. You ever hate what you thought of as yourself? Been disappointed with what you thought of as yourself? Not pleased with what you thought of as yourself? Then, and you grew up in the culture that told you that when something's wrong with you, sometimes you need some punishment. You're not right. Something needs to be done about you in a punishing way. So I'm not going to want to see what everybody does as a call for help because doggone it, they're going to give love to a me who doesn't think he even deserves it. It's hard to be in a relationship with a person who doesn't love themselves because the more you love them, the more they're going to resist you. The more they're going to try to sabotage everything in that relationship. Some people don't want to be a member of a club that would accept them.
Wow.
He says to fail to recognize a call for help is actually to refuse help. So how do I know I'm refusing help from the universe? He says, well, you fail to recognize anybody else's call for help. So you could say when I'm failing to recognize somebody else's call for help and call for love, you could say, today I have been refusing help all day. What have you been doing today? I've been ignoring every call for help that shows up from anybody. I have been refusing help all day. I have been refusing help all day. Because giving and receiving is the same. If I don't see what you're doing as a call for love and a call for help, then I'm asking that what I do not be seen as a call for help and a call for love. What I give is what I receive. Hear what I'm saying?
Yes.
What I give is what I'm asking for. What I give is what I'm asking. Not what I say is what I'm asking for. It's what I give. The universe recognizes giving as asking. I'll say that again. What you give is what you're asking for. Not what you say. What you give is what you're asking for. So if I never give, I'm asking to never receive. So I need to stop complaining about what I'm not receiving. The only thing that can be lacking from any situation, according to the Course, is what I'm not giving. But in that paragraph, it was talking about faith. What's missing in any situation is the faith I'm not giving. You know. And then the Course in Miracles says, to fail to recognize a call for help is to refuse help. And then the question is, would you maintain that you don't need help? Would you all maintain that you don't ever need help? No. Then it says, well, this is what you are maintaining when you refuse to recognize another person's appeal for help. So again, the Course is telling you again. You're saying, I don't recognize what you do as a call for help. I don't recognize what you do as a call for love. So what I'm doing is I am refusing help. I'm refusing help. I'm maintaining that I don't need it. I'm maintaining that I don't need it. Why? Because I don't see what you do as a call for love and a call for help. Which is me saying I refuse help. Not only do I refuse help, I don't need help. So most people are walking around all day who in anger, guilt, and grievances and separation, and this is what they're saying to the universe. I don't need help, I don't want help. 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 And what do they complain about? Nobody's helping me. Nobody's giving me love. Well, you're not recognizing anybody else's call for love. You're attacking them for their calls for love. You're attacking them for what you perceive as their imperfections. So therefore, you are wanting the same thing when you express your call for help and your call for love. I've told myself so many times, this is my 40th year of studying the Course in Miracles. And like I've said many times, my family wondered if I'll ever finish the book. And I say, no, I will never stop doing the book. Do I ever stop breathing?
Right.
Do I ever breathe enough for the rest of my life? I breathe now. You got to be the same way about the truth as you are about breathing. You got to see it as what's sustaining you. It can't be, I'll take a breath every 3 weeks. You know, that's what it's like when a person never focuses on their spiritual awareness and their spiritual growth. It's the same thing. You want it to come through for you, but you won't devote any time to it. When you're only going to get out of something what you put into it. But when I'm going over the cliff, I say, help me, God. Then all of a sudden, God becomes like this ultimate thing I call on. Right? But other than that, I don't think about my spiritual awareness until I'm in a crisis. God is not an aspirin that you take for a headache and then you put the aspirin back in the cabinet until your next headache. God is the thing that prevents you from having the headache in the first place. Healing doesn't need to be repeated. If you've really been healed, it doesn't have to happen over and over and over again. But if you're dealing at the symptom level and not the causative level, which is the mental level, the thing that upsets you will just keep changing appearance. I call it the merry-go-round of hell. It's my money. Get that handled, then it's my relationship. I get that handled, then it's my career. Then I get that handled, then it's my health. Y'all see, anybody familiar with the merry-go-round of hell? Right? As soon as you get one thing solved, then it looks like something else comes up. That's because you're just dealing with it at the what? Effect level, the symptom level. You're not dealing with the cause, which is I think I'm separate from each other, from you, and I think I'm separate from my Creator. That's my problem. I don't know my connection with all of you as true children of love. That's my problem. And it's only got one. It's a doozy.
It's a big one.
But it's one. Okay? And so the course, and if you follow along in the book, you see all I'm doing is saying what's on the page, but I'm trying to say it in a way we hear it. I'm not interpreting it, I'm sharing it. Because it's a conversation. Look at this like it's a very long conversation.
40 years
Repeats
on.
itself all
Yeah, this is a letter. This is a letter. And so what you're being told there is that if, he says, it's only by answering his appeal can you be helped. This is what you're maintaining, that you don't need help when you refuse to recognize someone else's appeal, but only by answering their appeal can you be helped. Deny the person your help, and then you won't recognize God's answer to you. So I am saying God is not answering my prayers, but I don't see God's answer because I'm not seeing what you do as a call for help. I had never made that connection. My refusal to see your call for help and want it answered will keep me from seeing the answer that God is giving me. And I walk around saying my prayers aren't being answered. It's because I'm not seeing everybody else's prayer. And everybody else's prayer is what I'm going through right now. If it's anything other than love, I'm calling for your help. I'm calling for your love. But you don't see that. You see me as a pain in the butt. You know, you don't want to deal with me. You want to go off on me. You want to attack me because you see my call for help didn't come in a real nice form.
Yeah.
You wanted me to say, please, I really need your help right now. Will you help me? But I didn't say it that way. I said, you low down dog. Now, that was my call for help too. But it didn't come in the form that you wanted to recognize it in. Do you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We expect people to ask for our help in the form we like. And when they're not doing it in the form we like, then we want to attack. I don't want to see that as a call for love when you cuss me out. I want to see that as an attack on me that I'm going to get you straight about. Right? I'm not seeing that as I'm getting lost in the form that the call came in.
Yeah.
How many of you get lost in the form, misperceive the form that the call for help comes in? We do it a lot. We do it a lot. All of you do it. Whether you raise your hand or not, you do it, right? Because we're not really different. We just do the same thing at different times. And because we do the same thing at different times, we think we're different. You feel great today, I feel depressed today. You feel depressed tomorrow, I feel great tomorrow. Same thing, we just did it at different times. So we tell each other we're different. We're not different. We all do the same things at different times. We either expressing love or call for love. That's all. That's all love would even see. Do you know that somebody that love you wouldn't even ask you what you've done to need their forgiveness? Think about what I just said. Someone that really loves you would not even care about what you've done because that wouldn't affect the decision that they've made, which is to forgive. If I already know how I'm going to respond to whatever you tell me, then whether you tell me or not doesn't really make any difference because it's not going to change my response. If you want to tell me, great. If you don't want to tell me, great. That's how real love operates. Now, don't beat yourself up because you can't do it yet. Readiness is not mastery. Readiness is not mastery. We wouldn't be learning to do this if we already knew how to do unconditional love. So just because you hear what the nature of unconditional love would be like doesn't mean you're able to do it today. Everybody cool about that? Just because we hear the way we're going to be doesn't mean we're being that way today. All right? So don't fool yourself if you go out with somebody. All right? You are probably not at the point you can love unconditionally no matter what and see a call for love and no matter what a person does.
That's right.
But that's your call for love.
Right.
You see, that's your call for love. And sometimes you can be in a relationship and you're both calling for love at the same time.
Yeah.
That y'all can't answer each other's call for love because both of y'all are nuts. Okay, you've gone nuts together. Okay? And so that means the universe is seeing it as, spirit is seeing it as both of you all are calling for love right now. Both of you. See, when I got into this book, I had the goal that I wanted this mind to be my mind. And I made that my goal. That one day, the way this mind thinks is the way I wanted my mind to be. Because if my world is a reflection of my mind and is being projected from my consciousness, then if I had a mind this loving and this sane, I would be in a very sane, loving perception of the world. And it is happening.
Yes.
It is actually happening. You know, there is no lack of love in my personal life. There is no one I'm in conflict with in my personal life. There is no need that spirit is not meeting in my personal life. Now, I just want to extend that love to encompass more and more. Follow what I'm saying? I just want to extend that. I don't want to stay in my own little bubble because all of it's me. So I'm just trying to be a love virus.
Yeah. Let us catch the bug.
That's right. That's right. You know, that's what you want to be. You want to be a love. You want to infect your own self with love. That'd be better than that burning sensation. Now, sometimes I listen back to my classes and go, what the hell did I just say? Because I'll forget that it's okay to just be myself. You know, my biggest enemy is caring what other people think. That nothing will blow your life and get rid of the joy in your life faster than always thinking about what other people think, instead of putting yourself out there authentically and seeing who loves you for your own authentic self. Because you deceive somebody about the way you are, you'll have to keep on deceiving. And you'll never be able to reveal yourself because you'll be afraid you're going to lose them. So don't put on no front to get somebody. You got to keep on putting that front on. Right? And so it says, deny him your help and you will not recognize God's answer to you. The Holy Spirit, the voice for God, your higher self, the intermediary, your inner teacher, the inspiration of the Son, the universal inspiration of us, that's the Holy Spirit. Love doesn't need your help. God doesn't need your help. God doesn't need your help. Great, because I'm not helping God that much anyway. So now I don't have to feel guilty about not helping. He said, the Holy Spirit doesn't need your help in what? Interpreting motivation. God doesn't. Hey, God, the Creator, isn't like saying, Earl, what do you think about that? I can't figure this out. Earl, give me your interpretation of what's going on. Of course, that's God doesn't need your help in interpreting anything. He says, but you do need God. You need Spirit's help in interpreting what's going on in your life, but Spirit doesn't need you to make Spirit aware of anything. Is what love doesn't need our help. Okay? So any thoughts, any questions, any comments about what I've covered so far?
Several years ago, someone told me that their prayer was a tattling session, and that they had grown up around people in a tattling session. And so that was what immediately came to me on that last sentence, was that, so often we go to God to tattle, to, did you catch this person doing that? And please help me perceive it differently. But as a counselor, I can see how this works so perfectly, because every time someone comes and asks me to answer their call for love, invariably the answer that I need for whatever I'm holding out comes to what I tell them.
That's what I love about counseling, my clarity sessions. I've yet to have a person come to me to have a clarity session that we didn't end up talking about what we both needed to hear and learn.
Yeah, so by giving the love, giving the answering the call for help, I'm taking care of myself.
And that's what I meant to tell y'all earlier. I kept telling myself, no matter what I went through or whatever somebody else went through, I kept saying it's a call for love, it's a call for love, it's a call for love, right? So it used to be when I attacked, the person would attack me back. That if I was fearful, it's like the person would be fearful. right? But then I kept telling myself, well, my fear is a call for love. My fear is a call for help. My fear is a call for love. It's a call for love. And then I would call everybody else's stuff. It's a call for love. It's a call for help. It's a call for love. So at one point, I noticed the oddest thing started to happen. If I was sad, angry, and depressed, instead of the person coming back at me with the anger that I have been expressing, they would come back with compassion. They would go, hey, what's going on? You know, something must really be bothering you. Give me a hug. Let me give you some love. It was just what the Course says. My mind had been reprogrammed, which is creating my reality, that my anger was a call for love, because I had been seeing everybody else's as a call for love. So then, when I get scared, I get the opposite, instead of getting the same thing. In other words, if I'm depressed, then someone comes to me who wants to share peace and love with me. If I think I'm experiencing lack, some form of abundance would show up that I would need. Why? Because I trained my mind that everything I was doing that was not love was a call for it. And so I was seeing everybody else's as a call for it. And just what this book said, what happened started to happen, which was my calls for love were being answered by love. Instead of me. So if I'm angry, instead of the person coming back at me with anger, they would go, hey, let's look at this another way. Something's going on right here. The fact that we are conflicting with each other means we must not be seeing something correct. Let's take a moment and see if we can work this out. Instead of coming back at me with the anger that I had. Why? Because I kept doing this one simple thing, saying, oh, there's a call for love. Oh, you're a call for love. Oh, they're a call for love. Oh, that's an intergalactic call for love. Oh my God. You know, because then I was doing what? Using the ideas regardless of my reaction to them. Even if I didn't want to see it as a call for love, I go, it's a call for love. Because he told me, say it regardless of your reaction to it. You don't have to believe it, just say it. It's sort of like when you watch those old magician shows and it goes, abracadabra. You know what I'm saying? It's like, to me, the Course in Miracles is like that. It's like giving me all of these statements that you can say that will change and transform your experience. Who else had something that they were going to say?
How does the Course say not to be overwhelmed by all the requests for help?
Well, it would say you would give it to the Holy Spirit, because your feeling of overwhelm would be you believing that you're personally responsible.
Yeah.
That's why you're in overwhelm. It says in the section of correction of error, I love it. He says, you want to give your stuff to the Holy Spirit, but why won't you give everybody else's to it? You want God to handle your stuff, then why you think it's your responsibility to handle theirs? If you want God to handle your stuff, give their stuff to God. Yeah. Then you say, lesson in the workbook, the lesson Only God's Plan for Salvation Will Work, it talks about what you should say is, ask God, what do you want me to do? Where do you want me to go? What do you want me to say? Who do you want me to say it to? So you're not God in that sense. You're overwhelmed because you've taken too much responsibility. And then out of all the things that you're being presented with overwhelm about, you go in the direction of the thing you feel most inspired to do and what would give you the most peace and what you could do right now. Because spirit is in the now. It's not in the future. So if you are really being guided, the Course says you will want to do it and you'll be able to.
So then saying no, there's no problem saying no if you're not inspired to say yes.
I would think that that's how you know that it wasn't your guidance, is the lack of inspiration. It's not like because you won't help me, God won't.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's like we act like if I don't help that person's not going to be helped. The love is going to come in the way that it can get to you the easiest, the fastest, in the most healing way. Guilt is always an inappropriate response to anything. The Course says a mistake we don't like, so we'll do something about a mistake, but feeling guilty doesn't make us do a doggone thing. Because if feeling guilty changed people, everybody would be changing around us. People actually think the guilt itself is sufficient. The fact that I'm not loving you, but I feel guilty about it, that makes everything okay, because at least I'm feeling guilty about it. Right? So guilt is not an answer. Guilt is the way to actually make sure you're going to keep doing the thing you've been doing. You make me feel guilty, I'm going to do it again. Because my ego loves guilt. The part of me that wants to feel separate, it needs guilt to stay separate.
Thank you so much, because I've had last 3 days, this young girl has been homeless in the back, and I've asked her how she's doing, and the next thing I know there was 7 people and they're camping, and the neighbors had to call, and I'm just like, God, please take this. And I didn't know what to do, because then I became afraid, because the guys were being aggressive towards the neighbors, and then were yelling at me, and I didn't know what to do. So I just kept saying, this is a call for love, this is a call for love. But then I retaliated when she lit candles next to my fence last night. I said, hon, this is scaring me. This could burn everything down. I can't have it, you know. And I just walked inside and I prayed, and I'm like, I don't know how to do this, Spirit. I'm overwhelmed. I want to love and embrace these poor people, but I'm afraid what's happening. And then the cops came and told them to leave. But they've kept coming back, and I don't know if I have some kind of weird connection with this woman somehow, but I just try to keep sending her love. And I think she's out there smoking crack or whatever, but she keeps coming close to me, so I keep trying to send love, but I got really afraid that she was going to do something crazy, or the people were, you know.
Yeah, that's why you asked for guidance.
I had to just ask for guidance, and I didn't know if that was enough, and thank you.
Yeah, that's enough.
God sent the police.
Well, all of us had to keep calling for them to come. So
The more unconscious a person is, the more they tend to attract what you would think of as external things. You know what I'm saying? The reason why there's so many rules in the world is because we don't know how to love each other yet. And the more fear there is, the more rules and regulations and laws. You have to have a law to make you do what you would do naturally if you love somebody. That's funny when you really think about it. I want to pass this around. This I'm going to do some things later this year and work with people who are actually studying the course. So, and that's not a put down. I'm glad you're coming, whether you're actually studying it or not. But if you're reading it and you're studying it, then I would like you to put your name and email, because I'm going to have some things that I'm doing with people who are actually studying it.
And one more thing I wanted to add was we had a clarity session a couple weeks ago, and your biggest thing to me was, are you reading the course? Are you literally, committing to reading? And I said, well, I come to your class and I take notes, and then I go back that night, or I go to Anna's class and I go back that week and I read, but no, I'm not actually. So I've started from the beginning, and my old fear was that I'm not getting it. It's hard. And I've been understanding and getting every word. So, awesome. Thank you for being a pusher.
It takes more concentration to read than it does to listen.
Yeah.
The listening is a great supplement. It's something that's very supportive, but it does not take the place of actually reading the book. It really does. But I will promise you this: if you actually read the book, you will see miracles. And that's the thing that I go through as a teacher sometimes in terms of frustration with people. That when I make myself feel frustration, is that I know what would happen if they'd actually take a moment to actually read the book. Because I can name miracle after miracle that's happened that you think was science fiction in my life. That I've had situations presented to me, and then I call myself reading myself out of my problems. And so the first thing I do is I go and I make sure I blot out some time that I read, because that's a symbolic gesture to really show that I'm willing to have that situation healed. So if you will take the time to read the course, you will see things happen that will blow your mind, even though it's primarily just talking about perception. But in my life, it has transformed and given me gifts and help and healing far beyond just my perception. And so it really is a miracle.
Amen.
It really is a miracle. And it says that if we change our mind and are willing to listen to a right answer and practice a right answer, it's a miracle. Yeah. That's why it's called Course in Miracles. Because if y'all do it, it's a miracle. Right? Okay, I'm going to go to the next. You had something you wanted to say, didn't you?
I did. I wanted to say something about individualized curriculum. I know the course goes into that to some extent, about everyone has an individualized curriculum. And one thing that I hear from Spirit is, you don't know what the other people in the situation are either going to learn, or you don't know what you don't know. So it goes. So your individualized curriculum also has to do with that, and I know that's a whole other class about individualized curriculum. Wouldn't mind a workshop about that. Individualized curriculum.
Well, I look forward to your workshop.
Okay. It'll be all music.
That's right. And that may be the way you do it. That would be your individual
Could
career.
be.
See, I don't do things unless I'm inspired. I, a long time ago, tried to get away from shoulda, gotta, oughtas. Yeah, I try not to do stuff because I should do it, because I ought to do it, because I gotta do it. I try to do things because I'm inspired to do them. And if I don't feel inspired, I don't do them. I haven't done a workshop in months because I haven't felt inspired to. I'm not going to do it for money. I'm not going to do it just to be doing it. I'm going to do it because spirit is flowing through me. That's what I want to reach you. I want to reach you heart to heart, spirit to spirit, mind and heart, you know. Because every time I'm around any of you, I get a great big heart on. And so it's very important. Okay. All right, you ready to go a little bit further?
Yes, sir.
All right, I know. And if you inhale right now, that's your call for love. I love this stuff. It turns me on. It's the best aphrodisiac that ever. It's an aphrodisiac. And then, of course, the miracle says, only appreciation is an appropriate response to another person. The only response that's appropriate to another person, the brother is your equal. The course defines a brother as an equal, and equal, and equal. So you can say equal where you see the word brother. Our only appreciation is an appropriate response to your equal, your brother. Gratitude is due the other person for two things. Why is gratitude the only appropriate response to you? Because I need to be grateful to you for your loving thoughts, and I need to be grateful to you for your cause for love. I need to be grateful for your appeal for help. I need to be grateful for your call for love. He said, well, why should you be grateful for the person's call for love? Why should you be grateful for the person's loving thoughts? He said, because both of them are capable of bringing love into your awareness if you perceive it truly. So what do you want? What are you in the world for? Are you in the world to become more aware of love? Say yes.
Yes.
I know you think you're in the world to get a car, but it's I'm in the world to get a house. The Course in Miracles says, the reason I should be grateful to you when you're acting a fool, which is a call for love, and when you're really being loving, is because both of those bring the awareness of love to me. So if I see it as love or call for love, 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 love or call for love all day long, I'm saying the love or call for love. Here's another one, another call for love. Oh, here's another one. That finger in the car, that was another one. Call for love, call for love, call for love, call for love. What are you hearing all day?
Love.
Love. Love, 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 love. What will you draw to you? What will you create? What you focus on, love. So if you're going to attract to you and you're going to magnetize or you're going to project or you're going to extend and you're going to experience what you focus on all day, you should be grateful that everybody's giving you a chance to say, that's a call for love, 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 that's a call for love. Because what are you putting out in the universe? Love. The idea of love. See how simple that is? What's hard to understand about that? What is it that would make me want to analyze that statement? What is it that would make me not want to do that? I have an imagined need to attack. What? I have an imagined need to refuse love for myself. I don't think I deserve love, so I'm not going to see it that way. Not because I don't want to help them, because I don't want nobody to help me, because I don't love me. Isn't it? You don't have to believe this, accept this, welcome this. This may be hard to believe and quite startling. Remember, right? And then it says, all your sense of strain comes from what? Your attempts to not do this. So why is it that people are going through strain all day? Because all day long they're refusing to see it as a call for love and a call for help. That's the strain, is that I'm refusing to see it from the level of the truth. I'm not willing to practice the truth. That's a strain. That's a strain. I'm naturally a loving person. You all are naturally loving beings. All the strain that we go through is we're holding back our love all day. And we're only picking and choosing certain people that we think deserve to have it. So we are under the strain of holding back love all the time. And that's where sickness and lack and disease and upset coming from. It's coming from holding back. So if I'm in a relationship and I find fear coming up and contraction coming up because I'm afraid of love, then I just try to love more. Because I know that fear is me holding back my love. And if I didn't hold back my love, I wouldn't be afraid of this person. I'm afraid of you because I'm not loving you.
Wow.
That is why I'm afraid. Like if I feel uncomfortable in this room right now, I know that's because I'm not loving you right now. I've become separate from you right now. I've become afraid of you right now. I feel like I can't be myself with you right now. I'm contracting. But if I love you, if I extend to you, if I embrace you, if I see you as me, there's no telling what I might do sitting up here. The people that you love, you are fun to be with because they don't know what you're going to do next because you're not afraid to be yourself around them.
Yeah.
When you're around people you're afraid of and they're strangers to you, you show them your representative and not your real self. I'm seeing your representatives. I'm seeing the you that's listening to me and relaying the message to you. This is the you that's relaying messages to you. Right? So the Course in Miracles says what? All your sense of strain comes from what? Your attempts not to do just this. Do what? See it as what? Love or call for love. See, what's difficult about this? What do you need to analyze about that? Then it says, how simple then is God's plan for salvation, which is peace. So this is a very simple plan. Love has a very simple plan. Here you go. Here's the simple plan. You ready for the simple plan?
Yes.
Here's the simple plan. There's just one response to reality. It's love or a call for love. Reality evokes no conflict at all. Of course there is no conflict because I'm not trying to decide anymore between two different things. Do I attack you or do I see it as a call for love? Since I'm not in conflict, then I only have what? No conflict because I'm going to see it as love or call for love. Then it says there is but one teacher of reality. That's the Holy Spirit, your higher power. There's but one teacher of reality who what? Understands what reality is. You have a teacher who understands what the truth is. You have a teacher, an inner teacher, who understands what the truth is. Your inner teacher does not change his mind or its mind about reality because reality doesn't change. It's always a call for love. It's always a call for help. Anything other than love will always be a call for love. It will always be a call for help. Reality doesn't change. That's what it means when it says reality. That's reality. We are on a planet that's one big call for love. They put us all on the same planet. They got as far away from us as they could get. That's why no matter how far they look out in space, they see no signs of intelligent life. Because intelligent life stays far away from us.
That's why it's called intelligence.
That's why it's called intelligent life. And the flying saucers, like I've said many times, they're not abducting people, they're dropping them off. I can just see him in some far planet right now. We're sentencing you to Earth. No! Put me in solitary confinement. Put me in solitary, send me to Earth. Whatever you do. They don't see no call for love. They let people starve. They don't care what's happening to nobody else. They just want a flat screen. Y'all know that's us. Y'all know that's us. Y'all know that's us. But that's our call for love. There's nothing for us to feel guilty about. See, are you following me? Yes. So even if you are doing what you think of as unloving things, that's your call for help. Yeah. Still not no reason for you to what? Condemn yourself. Right? Then it says here, although your interpretations of reality are meaningless. What? Your interpretations of everything, it's meaningless. What? Your judgments of everything is meaningless. Why? Because it's not seen as love, or a call for love, or call for help, or call for healing. Right? And then the Course says a private thought doesn't mean anything anyway, so you don't have to feel guilty about your secret thoughts, because the fact that it's a secret thought means it doesn't mean anything. So don't even feel guilty about your secrets. Okay? They don't mean nothing. I don't know what you're thinking until you tell me. When you describe your past to me, you're just building up an image of yourself that you might want to let go of by not telling me about. Right. You might want to show up new to me without your past patterns. Because if I'm a conscious being, I'm going to see whatever your past pattern is as a call for love anyway. Also, I feel like I'm responsible for my own happiness and you aren't. So it's no pressure on you anyway, because I'm not looking for you to make me happy in the first place. A conscious being knows that it comes from them, not from somebody else. So they don't have a bunch of grievances because they're not they're not in a frame of mind that makes them think that somebody else is responsible for their joy to begin with. So there's no grievance because you can't do anything to me because I'm not looking for you to make me happy anyway. Yeah, are you with me?
Yes.
Yeah. All the grievances come from scripts. Expectation is the mother of grievances. That's where all grievances come from. Expectations, scripts that I'm putting on somebody or somebody's putting on me. And since most people form relationships with people who are not like them or not as awake or where they feel like they have to teach because of that unequal power dynamic because they want to be in control, and it looks like you're more in control if you're in a relationship with somebody that looks like you're smarter than they are. But you don't know, you just asked for hell. Because when you need your call for love answered, when you need some sanity, they're not going to be able to do that for you because they're not doing their work. So you're doing all your work and then you hook up with somebody that does none, your ego will say, I'm the one that's more in control. I'm the one that knows more about what's going on. And the truth is, you're going to be really in for a great lesson in seeing things as a call for love. You just set up a situation where you're going to have to be seeing calls for love all the time. And they'll be glad to receive your consciousness. They'll be happy to receive how forgiving you are and how you're trying to look at it differently and you're trying to see it. They'll be like, oh, good. But the minute you need it, they haven't exercised that muscle. They're not doing any study. They're not doing any meditation. So they can't answer yours. Which is perfect, because it meant you didn't want yours answered in the first place. Or you would have chosen equal.
Right.
Equal. And equal.
Equal.
You want an equal. You don't want a relationship that you're the teacher and they're your student.
Right.
You know, somebody tell me that I was a growth experience. You insulted me. It was such a good growth experience. In other words, you were saying you hated being with me. That's good. See, it's a growth experience. It was a growth experience. It was, because now I refuse to look at the butt before I look at the mind.
Hallelujah.
Hey.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. It was quite an accomplishment. Okay. Especially for a black dude. Okay, now. See, don't lose your sense of humor on the way to God. Don't lose your sense of humor on the way to God. Okay? All right. It's okay. It's all right. It's okay. Everybody got bodies. What you should be looking for is the mind. Because all bodies have the same body parts generally. So it's not about the body parts. Everybody's got the same body. Most of the guys in here got the same body parts, and most of the women got the same body parts. Even if you think you're another sex inside the body, you still got the same body part. Right? So it's not about the body. It's about that mind you're going to be dealing with is functioning through that body. That's what you need to start paying some attention to, is what kind of mind is coming through this body. Because the body is going to be thrown in anyway. They're going to give you the body. Once the mind and the hearts are joined, pretty much people give his body as the gift. But that's because they don't value themselves yet. That's another class. If you really love me, you wouldn't give me your body. And you would say, what? That's my greatest gift. That's my greatest bargaining chip. What the hell are you talking about? You better pay attention to my body. You know how much clothes cost? But an innocent mind, the innocent mind is so much fun to be with because they're not judging all the time, they're not condemning you about what you're doing, and they're taking responsibility for their experience, and they're ready to try something new. Innocent people are fun as you can imagine to be with. People who think they're guilty and sinful and bad, you can't do nothing around them, they're judging you all the time, they got all these rules for everything, and that's a call for love. People, I'm gonna tell you, you wanna tune into who's coming towards you, not the ones that are moving away. Right? But who do we go after when we don't love ourselves?
The ones that are
We always go after the ones that's moving away. That's right. And so the Course in Miracles says right at the end, almost at the end, don't worry, I'm not gonna keep you much longer. You You've heard enough of how loved you are and how much you deserve help and love. Okay. I'm not going to tell you that too long. It says, the Holy Spirit gives them to you. It said, although your interpretations of reality are meaningless in your divided state, the Holy Spirit's interpretations of reality remain consistently true. Your higher self gives its interpretations of reality, which is what?
Love.
Thank you. To you because what? They're for you. I'm giving this to you because it's for you. Do not attempt to help a brother in your way. Don't attempt to help somebody in your way.
Please.
I said, you hear me, Brother John?
Please don't.
As a matter of fact, this is Brother John Christmas that y'all always hear me playing his music at the beginning of my Thursday class. He's here in the room. Me and John go back a long time. Long time. But he says, what? Don't attempt to help somebody in your way. Don't attempt to help somebody in your way. The Course says a consciously selected miracle can be misguided. You deciding who you're going to help and how you're going to help them, that's your ego. That is your ego. The Course in Miracles is saying, that's your ego. That you can be misguided. There's some people that you decided to help that's in therapy right now. because of your help. They were doing pretty good till you helped them. Okay? And that should also, for those of you who don't want to help nobody no way, this is another way out. And you can still think you're spiritual. You can say, oh, well, I'm so spiritual, I'm not going to try to help them in my way. Because I'm a good course student.
That's right.
I'm going to spare them of my help. And so he says, don't attempt to help a brother in your own way. Why? Because you can't help yourself. If I can't help myself, how am I going to be the one to figure out what you need? I'm having a hard time figuring out what I need and giving me what I need. Doesn't this make so much sense? It really does. It really doesn't make any sense not to study it because it makes so much sense. And then the last sentence says, but hear that person's call for what? The hog, the help of God. I need the hog. I'm calling for the hog. The what? The help of God. The help of love. He says, and when you hear that other person's call for the help of God, you will recognize your own need for the Father. You'll recognize your own need for love. You'll recognize your own need for God when you hear somebody else's call for the help of God, which means you are no longer refusing help. Would you acknowledge yourself here in this much for me today? Come on now. Can I have some? Can I have a little acknowledgement? Can I get to the point I don't need some? So what do you do? The Course in Miracles has a radical way of handling needs. I'll fulfill it until you realize you don't have it.
Yeah.
See, that makes sense to me. I love you so much, I'll fulfill your needs until you realize you have no needs. But I won't fulfill your need for you to use it on behalf of lingering around and messing around and not moving forward. So that's the promise. I'll give you what you need as long as you think you need it. But I'm not going to keep giving it to you if you use it on behalf of lingering in the ego and lingering in time. So I'm going to do the love offering now. Thank you for sharing with me. Thank you for showing up. I'm a full-time teacher of the course. And thank you for being willing to share. Thank you for sharing with me. Also, those of you online, if you'd like to make a financial expression of appreciation, just go to my website, Earl Purdy, PURDY.com. We'll pass that back. There you go, baby.
Thanks.
All right. Down. So, EarlPurdy.com, PURDY. On Venmo, just go to my email, which is Earl Purdy at EarlPurdy.com. I'm available for one-on-one sessions called Clarity Sessions, which I also use my over 40 years experience of doing soul purpose astrology and numerology. It's just another way of finding out what your role is in the dream and the easiest way to move through this experience. You came here with a roadmap. You came here with a roadmap that you created that I remind you of. And when people find out what it is and how to apply the course to it, that combination has created incredible breakthroughs for people that I've been working with. And it's been so gratifying to see the miracles that people have been experiencing from us working together with each other. I'm available for that. If you go to my website, it explains. It's called Clarity Sessions. It gives you all the details about it, and you can self-book right online. You'll see my availability. You just choose the time that works best for you, and we can get down. If you're ready to let go of those blocks, if you're ready to let your call for love be answered, you were meant to have perfect happiness. God's will for you is perfect happiness. That's what Spirit wants you to have. If you experience anything other than that, it's because you're using your own interpretations of what's going on in your life. And remember, it's an internal affair. It's an internal shift. And the Course says that some people, because they don't make the internal shift, then they have to have external things that happen to force them to give themselves the internal shift. I'm to the point I don't want that anymore. I'll proactively do what I'm told. You know what I'm saying? So that I don't have to give myself a situation that would make me have to change my mind. Aren't you tired of that?
Yeah.
Aren't you tired of being forced from the outer to change things? I know I am. So on Thursday nights, I do Hardcore Course in Miracles on Facebook Live on the Earl Purdy page at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. 7 p.m. Mountain Time. It's hardcore. Same thing. Just focusing, very book intensive, but we have a great time. You notice that even after all these years, I work out of the book. The reason why I do that is so that you can see that the book isn't as difficult as your ego tells you that it is, because you just saw me working out of it. And how can you say you really want the peace that the Course is offering, but you're not willing to do any of the things that it suggests doing to have it? So the first thing you need to do is make a commitment. You need to make a commitment first, and then the way to do it will happen. And all you have to do is tell yourself, what I know may not be all there is to know. I may not know everything. And then be willing to learn. So the Course says, all you got to do is says, I'm ready to learn. You want to have a relationship? Just say, I'm ready to learn. And then it says the relationship will be offered to you. The very specific contacts have been set up for you, because you can't meet everybody. So there's no accident. Everybody you've ever been in a relationship with and everybody you will be in a relationship with, it was divinely designed. There was no accident to that. The people you're with right now is not an accident. Those people you're intimate with, your friends, they were specifically sent to you because your level of expressing yourself has something to do with what they would also need at this time too. Which is great. Which is great. Isn't that great?
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. On appreciation. So what is it, y'all? It's either love or a call for love. What is it at work? It's either love or a call for love. Your relationship with your family is a what? It is either love or a call for love. I am love or a call for love. I am love or a call for love. That's all you are expressing. Aren't you ready to let go of refusing help? Aren't you ready to allow yourself to be helped? Say yes.
Yes.
Oh, that was so enthusiastic. I could tell y'all just burning to have the universe really support y'all. Are y'all ready to be helped?
Yes.
Yeah. So are you going to at least see it as a call for help?
Yes.
Even if you don't do anything.
Yes.
Just start out by seeing it as a call for love. You are a sweet and juicy call for love. You are a beautiful call for love. That's what you are. A beautiful call for love. Say what? I'm a beautiful call for love. I am a hot and juicy call for what? I am a hot and juicy call for love. I am a hot and juicy call for love. I am a juicy call for love. I am a call for love. We are juicy what? Call for love. Say to somebody and say to them, are a juicy hot. Call for love. You are a juicy hot. Call for love. You are a juicy hot. Call for love. You are a juicy hot. Call for love. Appreciate it, y'all. Thank you for showing up. Woo! Hugs are available. Love y'all online.
Oh, thank you so much.
And Sheila wants to make a quick announcement to everybody.